Hello and welcome to the next episode of my channel where I'll be taking up part 2 of the lesson, The Adventures of Toto. Now in the previous part, we had seen how grandfather had decided to take Toto along with him to Saharanpur to collect his pension. And in order to do so, he had carried Toto in a thick canvas bag and obviously Toto was a monkey and he could not sit still in the bag, and so the bag seemed to be jumping on its own on the Dehradun station, and it had attracted a lot number of onlookers. They wanted to see what actually is happening, what kind of magic show is it. Now throughout the journey it was fine, but the moment they reached Saharanpur, Toto did something very mischievous. He poked his head out of the bag at the turnstile when grandfather was showing his ticket to the ticket collector. Now the ticket collector, being a corrupt man, wanted to make some money from grandfather, and so he insisted that grandfather was carrying a dog with him and so he should pay a fine. In vain, grandfather tried to convince him that Toto was not a dog. He was not even a quadruped. That means an animal with 4 legs. But the ticket collector did not listen to him. So grandfather got very angry, and he also took out the tortoise which he was carrying in his pocket, and he showed it to him. If you want to collect penalty, if you want to collect a fine, then collect for this animal as well. This is a quadruped. But the ticket collector said, no, it is not a dog, so no charge. Now when Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable where he had other animals as company, especially the donkey named Nana. So on the first night, grandfather wanted to check on Toto if everything is fine. But when he went to the stable, he found something very weird. The donkey, Nana, was moving away. So grandfather felt it was very weird, and he gave him a tight slap on his haunches. But then later he realized that Toto was biting onto his ears, and that is why he was moving back. Toto and Nana never became friends. Now, as we know, monkeys are very good at imitating. When they see you doing something, they copy the same. So Toto also copied the narrator, that is Ruskin Bond. He saw how Ruskin Bond used to take a bath in a warm season. He would first test the temperature of the hot water, then put one foot in and then the other, and then rub soap on his body. Toto took bath exactly in the same way as narrator used to do. And after taking a bath, he would run near the kitchen fire in order to dry himself. Now, if anyone laughed at him during this performance, Toto would feel hurt and he would refuse to go on with the bath. But this was not just one incident. It was one of many incidents. One day, Toto almost boiled himself up. When a kettle was kept for boiling, Toto entered it and he started to enjoy because the water was warm. But slowly, the temperature of the water began to rise and Toto wanted to jump out. But outside it was cold. So he came back in and inside it was boiling. So Toto was continuously jumping out, jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, till grandmother arrived and hauled him out, half boiled, out of the kettle. Now, if there was any part in the brain which was specially devoted to mischief, it was largely developed in Toto. Toto was very mischievous. He loved tearing things. He loved to make a hole in the dress of the aunties and then run away. Now one day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. And when they all entered, what did they see? Toto stuffing himself with rice. Now the narrator's grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. And when grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish and went up on the jackfruit tree. And then, as if to tease everybody, he started to eat the pulao grain by grain. And after he had finished, he threw the dish down the tree and chattered with delight. So obviously, after some time, grandfather too realized that Toto was not a sort of pet which could be kept for long because he was always breaking, tearing, throwing things. So grandfather found that same Tonga driver back from whom he had bought Toto and sold him back to him for only 3 rupees. So this chapter is just an excerpt from the life of Ruskin Bond and how his grandfather liked to keep all kind of weird pets, and Toto was one of them. So I hope you have understood the lesson. Do like the video.